We are talking J.J. McCarthy on today's edition of Vikings Now by Chat Sports. What's going on, everybody? My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome in. Now, coming up on today's show, we have a story around J.J. McCarthy that will have you guys ready to run through a brick wall if you watch this entire thing. But first off, some world news today. We got a new pope. And he is a Chicago native. And the first thought I had when I got this news was, I wonder who else is from Chicago. Well, it's J.J. McCarthy, so it's perfect timing to do this story on our new QB1 here in Minnesota. But, hey, before we dive into it, if you guys truly believe that J.J. McCarthy will win a Super Bowl for the Minnesota Vikings, go down there and hit that thumbs up icon. I put today's show goal as over 500 likes. So if you guys can help me look good for my bosses, go down there, smash that thumbs up button. All right, so what's the story that's going to have you guys ready to run through a brick wall after you hear it? Well, it was Harrison Phillips. He was on a podcast recently, and he shared an awesome J.J. McCarthy story, and specifically right after he tore his meniscus after that preseason game with the Raiders. He was talking about how J.J. McCarthy was handling it, and you guys just got to listen to this whole thing from Harrison Phillips saying this. I'll say one little thing about J.J. So J.J. gets hurt with his meniscus in training camp, and they want him to take a break and to relax and get away from football. Like, this is a really hard time. You have never been hurt before. Let's say he got hurt on a Sunday. On Wednesday, after they figure out what's wrong and what he has to do, and he is calling me saying, what day of the week are you free so we can meet and you can watch film with me and talk defensive line with me throughout the whole season. He's asking me questions and trying to meet up so he can sit and watch film. Well, he's a rookie going through the hardest time of his life, injured in a new city. He wants to sit with one of his vets and captains and watch defensive film so he can understand what's going on through my mind. That's a sign of someone who is going to play football for a very, very long time. Now, when I saw this, it, wasn't really changing my thoughts on who JJ was. Like, we knew JJ McCarthy was a football sicko, but this just doubled downs on that thought. Like, the fact that immediately after he tore his meniscus, he's already thinking about, how can I get better? Well, let me go ask a guy like Harrison Phillips, who's been in the NFL for a very long time, pick his brain, watch film with him, and the fact that it's also defensive line tape, I think it makes it funnier, because if it's like, hey, let me talk to like Stephon Gilmore last year. Let's talk about coverage. How are you guys defend this play? Yada, 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 yada. But the fact that he was asking Harrison Phillips that he wants him to go over defensive line tape with him, he's just a sicko. And, it truly gets to this point that all he cares about is winning football games. Like, every single week when he's preparing for whatever team the Vikings are playing, all he cares about is if, he comes out of that game with a win. And I think that's a big reason why he's only lost 4 games of football since his freshman year of high school, which is the craziest thing. But, you may be saying, like, why is J.J. McCarthy even asking Harrison Phillips, to watch tape with him? Because sometimes in life, and especially in the NFL, you have to be extra to be great. You got to go take those extra steps. And that extra step for JJ, when he couldn't do anything on the field because he was recovering from that surgery, he had to get the mental side of the game down. The fact that he went to a veteran, a guy who's been in the NFL for, 7+ years in Harrison Phillips and wants to pick his brain, you got to do that extra stuff to be great, because especially once we get to playoff time, it is all about the margins. And maybe JJ just having that little bit more of information than the quarterback across the field from him could really help him. And, I said this a couple of times here on the show. Whatever J.J. McCarthy's ceiling is, whatever his max potential of what he can get out of his body, out of his just natural physical ability, he will reach that ceiling because he is dedicated to his craft. He is dedicated to getting better each and every day. And when he speaks about the process of just like, I'm just trying to win that day, I'm not really thinking too much in the future. He just wants to be that guy. He puts his nose down and he goes to work. And I just thought that story that Harrison Phillips shared, also credit to him for sharing that on that podcast, it just speaks to all of it. And I cannot wait to see this guy, see all that hard work, see everything we're hearing about him actually go out there and play itself out there on the football field every single week. You got to give credit to the man, J.J. McCarthy. He's built from the right stuff, and he will reach that ceiling, whatever it is, in his NFL career. But speaking about another quarterback in his draft class, Caleb Williams. I need you guys to pick a quarterback for me. Are you rocking with Caleb Williams? Are you rocking with our guy, J.J. McCarthy? I better see about 509s down below in the comments section. But pick a quarterback for me. Number 9 for J.J., number 18 for Caleb Williams. Coming up next on the show, Kevin O'Connell. He hopped on the Rich Eisen show, and he was talking about J.J. McCarthy, and Rich asked him a question, hey, who do you think's starting next year? And Kevin O'Connell gave him a hilarious response. We'll dive into that here in a second. But before we do so, I got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Factor Meals. Now, get started at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50off and use code VikingsChat50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code VikingsChat50off at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Now, make this your best season yet with 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat and perfect for any busy or active lifestyle. Now, here covering the Minnesota Vikings at Chat Sports, we have a lot of long days at the office, and I don't always feel like cooking a home-cooked meal when I get off work, and that's where Factors came in and has completely changed my life. I love the blackened salmon. I love the Texas cheddar burger. They got a ton of different options to choose from, and you guys will definitely find something you really enjoy. So get started at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50off and use code VikingsChat50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code VikingsChat50off at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Got that link for you guys in the comments section and description of today's show. All right, let's talk about the interview Kevin O'Connell had with Rich Eisen. Obviously, Rich Eisen, a big-time Michigan guy, so you knew he was going to ask about J.J. McCarthy, and he just came out and pretty was like, hey, KOC, is J.J. McCarthy QB1? Is he taking the QB1 reps? And Kevin O'Connell kind of laughed him off, but he said this. He was saying when he is taking snaps, he's taken plenty of snaps from starter Ryan Kelly, who happens to be a 10-year starting center in this league. Take that for what it's worth. I don't think Vikings fans or any wildly successful, nationally renowned broadcasters like yourself should be worried about the amount of reps JJ is going to get with the ones. We're going to have him ready to go. And you could just tell, even though KOC was kind of joking in this interview, you could just tell he's tired of these questions. Like, every single interview he has hopped on for the last 4 months has been, hey, is J.J. McCarthy QB1? Is McCarthy taking QB1 reps at practice? You could tell he's just kind of getting sick and tired of it. And, even though, Kevin O'Connell, he clearly wants J.J. McCarthy to go out there and earn it, because he could easily say on the Rich Eisen, so yes, no doubt, J.J. McCarthy is QB1. He will be QB1 on the depth chart, but he wants him to go out there and earn it. But that's also what J.J. wants. And I remember I was thinking back of when J.J. hopped on the Up and Adams show with Kay Adams. And this was right around the time when there was a lot of buzz about Aaron Rodgers, and she was asking about that. And, J.J. McCarthy said this on if he will be QB1, saying they haven't told me. I'm happy they didn't, because I try to earn it every single day. I never want that to be given to me. It's such a privilege and an opportunity to give me that chance. And, I love that mentality. Like, he could have came out there and said, yeah, I would like to be named QB1, but he didn't come out there and say that. He said, I want to go earn it. And I truly believe he believes that. Like, what he just said of, I am grateful for this opportunity. I just want to go out there and compete to be QB1. Like, he doesn't want to just have that title handed over to him. And I love that kind of, not being a egotistical person, because he easily could be. He was the 10th pick in the NFL draft. He was a first-round pick. He should be thinking, I am in line to start with this team, but he just wants a chance. Go out there and fight, compete, and truly, truly earn that QB1 spot. But Kevin O'Connell also had more on J.J. McCarthy, saying, yeah, he's having a great start to his offseason program. The journey he's been on really before the injury. This guy comes in here with an incredible amount of energy and excitement for him coming here last year. He was getting better every single day. The growth from day one of rookie minicamp this time last year all the way through his first performance in the preseason game, his growth in practice playing against a really good defense every day. There was a lot to be excited about. As Sam was having a great camp, so was JJ. And that was a really good thing for the Minnesota Vikings at the time. And, clearly it was. Like, Sam Darnold went out there, he balled 14 wins, 35 touchdowns. We all know the story of the 2024 Minnesota Vikings. But, I was just thinking about it. What if the J.J. McCarthy knee injury was a blessing in disguise? Because I remember where I was. I was here at work. I was sitting at my desk, and I got that notification like, holy cow, J.J. tore his meniscus. And then we got the follow-up of, oh, yeah, this surgery was not a, 4 to 6 week thing. This was a 4 to 6 month thing since the, different types of meniscus surgeries you can get. And I remember I was sitting there. I was just devastated. Like, I was like, oh, this season's going to be a throwaway. But then the Vikings obviously ended up being really successful. And why I think it could be a blessing in disguise is, J.J. was able to see a guy like Sam Darnold just go through the day-to-day of the NFL life. But also Darnold was incredibly successful. Like, it's not like J.J. was sitting behind, like, let's just say a bad team last year, throw out like the, Jacksonville Jaguars, for example, and he was sitting behind Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, and I don't really think he would get the most out of that. But the fact he was sitting behind Darnold, a guy who, yes, was terrible in his NFL career before getting to the Vikings, and Darnold kind of accepted the culture, accepted the offense, really grew into that. Like, it's awesome that JJ was able to see that firsthand, and just the amount of mental reps. We know what he's done with the VR headset this past season. Like, I know it's terrible that he missed last year, and, you lose a year of his rookie contract. But what about in the long run, this being the best thing for him? Will we ever find out that answer? Absolutely not. But just want to take an optimistic view of JJ, missing his first year in the NFL. But I'll tell you what, guys, I cannot wait for next football season. The fact that it is only May 8th right now, and we got to wait damn near 4 months for the start of the season. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. So if you guys are fired up as well, hit me with a skull down below in the comments section, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, Skol Vikes.